Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab of California, and we have another new breakdown for you today on Trey Lance, the quarterback from North Dakota State. The next big phenom from North Dakota State, as a lot of us know, Carson Wentz also came from North Dakota State, and very very similar in terms of size. Where Trey Lance is actually a little bit smaller, 6'3", about 220, but it's only a freshman redshirt, and still is able to just has an absolute cannon for an arm. And so we'll just go and get right into the throw, just because he does have a little bit of an interesting overall release where he really takes a big step out in front of him, right? So we can see where he really initiates it and he gets that foot down. But that's really the big thing, right? Is he gets that foot down really quickly. And I see, some quarterbacks that end up kind of keeping their foot up off the ground for a good amount of time, where really once you can get that foot down, now you can push all of your weight forward, right? So it's very, very important to be able to get that foot down so then you could really extend off that back leg and start getting rotation within the lower body. The biggest issue quarterbacks that you have, if you're not throwing the ball over 40 yards, if you're 16 or 17 years old and you're not throwing the ball over 40 yards, then you're not using your body, right? Unless you're 16 or 17 and you only weigh like 120, 125 pounds. But most of the guys, once you get into, being 15, 16, you should be into, at least weighing about 150 pounds. And once you're weighing that much, you should be able to throw the ball, at least over 40 yards. And if you're not, or when you do, if you have any type of pain in your arm, wrist, elbow, anything like that, it's because you're just using too much of your arm and not enough of your body. Okay, so Trey Lance does an excellent job pushing off his body and getting the rotation he needs. Now, he's a little bit unorthodox in where the hand is getting out in front of him and he kind of opens up his shoulder a little bit early. But what he does, in order to compensate for that, is he really pulls back hard with that front hand. So you can see how his hand gets out here, but then as he actually goes to the throw, he pulls it back and then maintains a very, very upright position as he's actually throwing. So he's very tall as he's throwing and gets a lot of flexion in his mid back. So see how as he's throwing, he really brings his head, so his head's kind of back behind him, but then he brings his head and his like mid back through as he's actually releasing, which helps him get a lot of power on the actual throw. All right, I'm going to actually do a throw on the run here too. So we could see, I haven't done one of these in a little bit. And what I just liked about this, you can again see where he extends out. And he might have like a baseball background, would be my assumption, with getting that arm out. Because I remember when I was in baseball, that was something that they taught us to do, is get that front arm out in front and then, pull back as you're coming through. It's kind of more of a pitching technique. But you can see that he's very quick in getting that elbow through, right? So he's here, and then look how he doesn't have any wasted time with that ball back behind him. Okay, another big thing that I talk to a lot about with doing like the breakdowns and the Zoom sessions is that after getting to this loading position, a lot of times the ball gets too far back behind you as you're going through, instead of really driving through with that elbow and bringing that arm forward. There's a lot of similarities that you just continue to see with those quarterbacks that are playing on the Division I level in their mechanics and being able to get the ball out of their hands fairly quickly, and also being able to have the distance and have the consistent accuracy. And I think what comes into being able to be consistently accurate is not having inefficiency in the movement, right? So when you have wasted motion with bringing the ball too far back behind you, or maybe dropping the elbow, things like that, or maybe not getting the nose of the football facing towards your target as you're releasing the throw, that makes it so you end up struggling from a accuracy standpoint, where then going into things like not being able to get your whole body behind the ball makes it so you just don't have the actual distance. All right, here's another great example of a nice throw by him, right? So you can see he goes and gets those hips around and is again early to get those shoulders around, but then is able to justify it by maintaining a very upright position in the spine and then pulling back in the arm in order to make it so then he releases the ball very, very high and comes down with a lot of velocity, right? So because he's able to release the ball up really high up, he's able to pull down a lot in his actual throw, right? So he's using a lot of his triceps, he's using a lot of his lats, and so he's using some of those big muscles, as well as creating a lot of rotational force in the spine and then flexion in the spine that makes it so he's able to generate a lot of power. All right, and so there's really there's different ways you could throw the ball, but there's some certain similarities. And I think, one thing that we continually see is that front hand has to stay pretty close to your chest as you're actually throwing the ball, right? So you don't want to end up letting that front hand get too far away from you, right? And then the other big thing that you got to be able to do is you got to be able to push off that back leg, get that heel to face straight up, right? Everybody gets that heel to face straight up, and then also everybody's able to shift all the weight on that front leg and has a very stable front leg. Now, the stability that you want to be able to achieve here is different for different quarterbacks, but you could just see how well he's able to shift all his weight on that front leg and absorb everything very, very smoothly, and then is able to drive the elbow through, and then from there it just ends up being the flick of the wrist, right? And we have videos that show you how to flick the wrist if you're having any of the issues of the different parts there. But if you're not getting the right results in terms of your throwing distance, a lot of times it ends up having to be something to do with the mechanics and being able to fix up your mechanics. All right, so yeah, that's really the conclusion of the video. I hope this makes sense. I hope this is able to add more value to yourself and your quarterback journey. I would say if you haven't joined our 7-day program, I have a link below. You got to join that. We've had so many quarterbacks that have talked about how they're throwing the ball further. We're starting to get more people to actually join our full 12-week program because they're seeing such a big improvement in the 7-day program. And it's 7 days and it's 100% free, right? So if you can't do a 100% free program that's going to help you throw the ball further, then maybe you should kind of change up and where you're thinking about going as a if you want to actually be a quarterback, right? Because this is a free thing that's going to help you throw the ball further, right? And so, you got to take advantage of these free opportunities. And once you're in the program, you got to actually go by it day by day by day. I know I've been saying that a lot on these videos or on Instagram or different, social medias, but it's true because there's so many guys that are not following the program. And so once you're in it, follow it 100%, you're going to get great results within 7 days. You're going to start throwing the ball further. And I want you guys to all be able to throw the ball further. I want to help many quarterbacks as I can in getting a better understanding of their mechanics. All right? Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk soon.